Hey guys, it's me Chandra again. So today's video we'll do a post-release review for Yinlin. So like usual, like other game post-release review, in here I will discuss the pros and cons, mostly positive and negative experience. So this is mostly involving the feeling itself by using her around 10 days, something like that. And also do a build recap, very fast one, and in the end we'll choose one more topic. And the topic that I will talk, which is Yinlin is type character that overlooked too much as a support and future-proof character. So let's get started. So let's start first with the positive experience. So the one that never changed from CBT to even right now until post-release, which is she is very good and flexible sub DPS, especially in Electro. And even I feel it's even more flexible than I thought, just because right now we don't have so much character availability, or the character roster is not really that big. Yinlin become one of the still important part, just because her ultra still pretty much also can work with anything, even at the worst. So right now with the character that we don't have so much, the resource that we don't have so much, we cannot build so much character. Yinlin become one of the good character for you to build, for you to just put on and off in type of the character, even though it's no Electro. Let's say you just put in Havoc Rover, you want to put in GN, you put in like Sanwa and any type of character, even though they cannot utilize 100% of her kit, it's still useful. And of course, she deals a lot of damage too, even as a sub DPS, just because probably limited, so her number also pretty much higher than compared to like 4-star. So because of that, she become like relatively flexible and still serve as a very good also sub DPS. And second, that I already mentioned before, she can work as a temporary DPS. Like literally I tried to do like couple of like holograms or even like power adversity that I cannot rely on my another main DPS, maybe they have resistance or I don't build them very well. She can still work as a temporary DPS, and I feel like that's still good then. And third, Yinlin is relatively good and suitable for the quick swap playstyle, and this is relatively good for Wuthering Wave, because Wuthering Wave is very fast-paced type of game where you can just sneak in couple of damage and then switch back again to your main DPS, something like that. Maybe skill back again, ultimate back again to main character, something. So you can stick in with Yinlin pretty easily, because mostly her skill, everything is just so fast or easy to be cancelled, so it not require you very like much on field time, and that's actually good. And fourth, the more I use Yinlin, I just realized she's quite relatively balanced in terms of targeting, good in single target and AoE, because she has like skill that targeting single target pretty good, but she also have like heavy attack and ultimate that relatively also good in literally AoE. So that's because of that, like I think she has a good coverage for both targeting, and that's actually a good thing. And let's move to the negative experience. Literally not much, but first one I want to talk, she's not really easy to parry. Maybe for some of you don't realize Yinlin actually can parry it, but it's just not easy. You need to at least like getting used to it. There's a couple of them that you can use to parry from the charge attack or from the jump attack, that's pretty much can work. But yeah, it's not really that easy. Even I cannot even do constantly. And the next one, currently if you want to utilize Yinlin, of course, as 100% of her kit, she doesn't really have so much partner, literally only Yuanwu and Kalkaro. And some people maybe don't like use Yuanwu or Kalkaro, and that's pretty much also make her like to utilize 100% of her kit is quite limited right now. So because of that, she is more character that we can say shine brighter the more we have like main DPS Electro in the future, so something like that. But for currently right now, she pretty much have a limited choice of the main DPS that she can utilize 100% of her kit. So let's move a little bit in the build recap. We'll just do very fast, just because in the preparation guide, that one I did pretty much already on point. So if you want to refer more in detail, just go in that video. But of course the best one is for the 5-star String Master, because it's signature of her. Other than that, if you have the Cosmic Ripple, it also can works. If you're free to play, just use the Rectifier 25, it's pretty much still decent. And other than that, if you maybe have Gacha and if you have Jinzhou Keeper, this one also can be used. Or if you play Battle Pass also, that can become a signature light of her, just because it gives you crit rate, so you can use that. The name is Augment. And if you want to utilize mostly Yinlin as a support, that mostly buffing, let's say Kalkaro as a hyper carry, or you just want to abuse the outro skill or ult spam, then just use variations. For the echo sets, there are 3 that you can use. First one is Void Thunder. This is one of the best in general you can use for the main DPS, or even support still can work. Other than that, if you want mostly as a DPS, you can use Linger Tunes. If you want just focus as a ult spammer, or just like focus as a support to buffing your main DPS, then you can use Moonlit Clouds. Other than that, if you don't have any 5-piece, then just any mix between 2-piece of this Void Thunder, Moonlit, or even Lingering Tunes. 3 of the mix can be fine. So for the active echo, then you can try first. If you're using Void Thunder, then you can equip with Tempest Mempis. I think this is the best one compared to Thundering Mempis, because this one have shorter animation and can give you this similar buff, give you electro damage. However, if you find with the longer animation, you can just go with Thundering Mempis, but take note, with the longer animation, you can just take hit. Other than that, if you're using the Moonlit Clouds or this energy set, then you can use Heron itself, because after you trigger the outro, you switch the character, though your hyper carry itself or your main DPS can get damage. Other than that, you can use this Tortoise, the Geochelon, because it also can buff your team damage in general. Or if you just use Lingering Tunes, then you can just use this Abomination. It's also good because still can pretty much buff to the on-field character. And for the Echo main set, depend on what format that you go. If you go with the format 4-3-3-1-1, then of course the 4 cost just go either crit rate or crit damage, depends on what you need, but just make sure you need crit rate above 50%. And then for the 3 cost, just go with double electro damage bonus. However, if you feel like you still lack of the energy regen, you can just put one of the energy regen. My recommendation energy is around 130 to 150, so around something like that, usually it's already fine. But if you don't have this like double electro, you can just pick like attack, that's also still fine. And then of course in here 1 cost is attack. But if you go with the cost is 4-4-1-1-1, then of course you can just go with the double crit rate or double crit damage or crit rate crit damage. And then for the 1 cost, just go with the attack itself. So for the substat, for the substat, prioritize first critical rate, critical damage, and after that energy regen. But if you have also attack percentage, also nice. But other than that, also heavy attack, Resonance Liberation, that also welcome. So that's everything about the build recap. If you have more specific, whether like signature or the resonance chain, you can just ask me in the comment. I already even discussed again from the preparation guide, so you can just refer that also too. So now let's move to our main course, which is the one that I would talk before. Like after this couple days of course of Yinlin release, I see a lot of sentiment that people treat her mostly as a like more toughy, and I quite surprised. Like mostly like outro skill buffer spammer, that's it. The only things about that, they almost forgot about her entire kit, that she's not about like outro skill itself. That's only one of her incentive that people literally to overlook with that. They even compare with Jinxin. Like don't get me wrong, I really like Jinxin. I already keep promoting. I told you that Jinxin is a good character. But people compare with Genshin with Yinlin is already feels so wrong, just because there's a Genshin buff also resonating liberation, right? It's only couple percentage upgrade compared to Yinlin itself. So bro, you forgot there's couple that they makes different. Genshin DPS and literally Yinlin DPS, Yinlin is a lot more. And because of that, you just like overlook too much her as a like auto skill spammer, like Mortophy, and that's it. Forgot how strong her ultimate if you utilize her as a ult spammer. Forgot how good her heavy attack in AoE 2 and also even single target. Forgot she also have DOT, same like Mortophy. Once you use trigger the heavy attack, whatever you attack, it have the follow-up attack there. That's actually huge. She is not only typical like okay switch give buff, that's it. That's not the only use of her. She more than just that. Overlooked too much in outro skill. And also the fact that Yinlin is very quick swap type character, you can sneak her damage very fast. Although I cannot really blame that. I think some people just way too comfy with the way of Genshin Impact, where they feel like sub DPS, let's say like Xin Shoyelan, they mostly job as an off-fielder, that's it, off-fielder, that's it. They didn't offer anything else. The difference is that Genshin work at the rotation that already fixed. You cannot keep changing. But in Modern Wave, you can keep changing, like sneak in couple of damage, quick swap, very fast, 3 times faster even than Genshin. So because of that, the sub DPS in here, if they can deal damage, you can build them as a dealing damage to sneak in couple of damage. Especially for me, I really like quick swapping. I don't really like stay on field because I like just to keep changing all the time. So because of that, there is a very different between Genshin and Wuthering Wave in here in terms of support, because support in here can become DPS. I'll give you one of the very good examples from PGR. There's one of the class called Amplifier. Although their mostly job is to giving buffer to the next character that you switch, but it's not only buffing, they can deal damage. That's why putting on field on them still pretty much still useful. But yeah, basically their job is similar like Yinlin, but they still need on-field time just because they still do damage. So yeah, in the end, although you may say true, the buff is not that significant compared to the other standard character they over, let's say like Mortopi on like even like Genshin, something like that. But in terms of DPS wise on field, Yinlin still pretty much can give you more damage overall. So don't forget about that. Next one that I want to talk regarding future-proof character and why I think Yinlin become one of them, the one that will start to shape the future new meta of Wuthering Waves. Just because right now our only character that can literally utilize 100% of Yinlin kits only Yuanwu and Kalkaro, and even Kalkaro not literally consistently can utilize 100% just because on some point you need to animation cancel, so because of that feels kind of waste. And another theory, this is only theory, if our future limited character have the same traits yet like Yinlin, where the outro skill have these two different buff, let's say one is buffing element and one is buffing, let's say maybe resonance liberation, resonance skill or so on, something like that, then it's pretty much quite need to confirm that our new meta in the future is playing in a mono element. Just because I think they will still took the reference sense like PGR, where they just like to put in the mono elements. So I still need more confirmation, so we need to see either like Jinxi or Changli. I'm not really sure what their roles, but if turn out one of them to have like support capability, if they have the same traits with like Yinlin where it has two buffers, then it's pretty much, I'm quite sure in the future we will playing in the mono elements. And because of that, Yinlin will become the essential component in here for you to play mono element. However, of course, this is only like in the meta takes. If you want to play even for casual, doesn't really matter. And I don't think like the meta in here like super necessary, just because in this game is very skill based, so you should not worry if you just want to use 4-star support, something like that. That's why in the end I feel like Yinlin still a pretty much future proof character and very good character, but I don't think she also you have to pull literally. Because for me, Wuthering Wave, as long as you have the right substat and then also you have skill, you pretty much can clear. In the last section, if you ask me should you pull for Yinlin, my answer is actually depends in what of your purpose itself. If your purpose mostly you're looking character that mostly support type or sub DPS type, where not so much taking type on field, or the one that you can say like you have future view that you want to main mono electro team in the future, then yes, getting Yinlin is pretty much will benefit you a lot. And also if you really like this character or gameplay, then pull for her. Because in this game I say if you like the character and you feel comfy using this character, you feel it will help you to perform better. So yeah, I say that's the most two things that you can go. So yeah, that's it about Yinlin post-release review. Overall, I satisfied with her. I really like her playstyle. I really like how she very flexible mostly because of it. And yeah, overall I give a positive review about Yinlin. Both Jian and Yinlin, I think they are both solid character. Very good to have, but of course in the end it's still optional. So yeah, if you like this video, feel free to hit the purple button and like, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.